This is going to shock you. I think BMI can be considered a little bit dated. What do you mean, Harry? BMI has been something in the medical industry that's been used for years. How dare you suggest that something that's being used by medical practitioners is something that we shouldn't adhere to? Let me explain. I think first of all, we need to take a little step down memory lane and talk about where BMI originated from. Did you know body mass index, BMI, so your height versus your weight gives you a number, and if you are over 25, you are overweight. If you're over 30, you fall into the obese category. This was created by a Belgian astronomer in 1832. His name was Adolphe Quintelet, and he looked at the relationship of our height versus our weight, and seemingly that in 1832 could make quite a lot of sense. First newsflash, it's not 1832 anymore. A lot of things have changed since 1832. Here is a communication device in 1832. Here is a communication device now. Here is a car in 1832. Here is a car now. Things have changed quite a lot. Our bodies have changed quite a lot. The availability of food groups, gyms, exercise, lifting weights, the studies we have towards how we change our body and adapt has changed. In the 1950s, a gentleman called Louis Dublin picked up the BMI and brought it into his business, the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. So for Louis, when going through people's life insurances, it's not against the realms of reality that he might want to stack a few cards into his favor. Of course, if someone does have a high BMI, yes, change is needed. A good thing, and I repeat, a good thing about BMI is that it tends to make people take action. People tend to have an association with death and their life, more so with BMI, ironically, than they do their weight. The reason I say ironically is that our height can't change. It might change a little bit as we get older, but in general, it's not going to change, but our weight very much can. But there can be an ownership issue over weight. There can be nuances that can be created. There can be certain situations that we understand that it's a confusing industry. I've tried everything. I've tried every fad diet. I fluctuate loads. I've got a bad metabolism, etc., etc., etc. We can put that there. But BMI still seems like age. If you go on a machine and the metabolic age tells you are older than you actually are, it's not a nice feeling. BMI has that same feeling. I think it's words like morbidly obese and obese. People don't want to fall into category. We don't want to fall into any category. And that was part of the charm in BMI, because when Louis Dublin created it as part of his life insurance company, it was handy to categorize people because, yeah, a higher BMI means they're more likely to die, and more likely to die means life insurance is relevant. But I repeat, things have changed a bit now. If you are a non-active person who doesn't exercise, doesn't lift weights, doesn't move very much, and have a high BMI, it is more relevant to you, for sure. However, if you are of a BMI of, say, 25 to 30, even potentially 30 plus, it all lives in the doing. I wouldn't overthink BMI thinking, I'm actually a BMI of 26.5. And I can run 10K, I can bench press my body weight, I can squat double my body weight. I would consider myself a healthy man. Here are the stats I recently did from a medical check. Out of 65, I got 62 green, 3 amber, of which all 3 are linked to my BMI being slightly higher. So yes, we are still categorizing BMI through health, but my point being is this: it is not the only metric to go by. And a worry I have is that sometimes people set themselves a goal of, say, a healthy BMI. I am currently 82 kilograms. For me to be a healthy BMI, I need to be sort of mid-70s. I know I'd be uncomfortable at that rate. I lift weights quite consistently, so I've built muscle mass over the course of time. That is a very healthy thing to do. The goal is actually fat loss, not weight loss. We go by weight because it's the most available metric we have. Now, again, to repeat, if you are 35, 40 plus, maybe we need to look into it a bit more, especially if you're non-active, and go down the road of just doing. If you are between the sort of 25 and 35, again, it all lives in the doing. But if we are setting ourselves a target without an appreciation of the doing, and what I mean by that is optimal protein, fluids, exercise 2 to 3 times a week, I think tremendous benefits towards lifting weights, keeping active with walking, prioritizing meals over snacks, optimizing your sleep, etc., etc., etc. Do those things, and yeah, maybe if you need to track calories to lose a bit of body fat, if that is the goal, that's fine. But don't set yourself a target of getting to what can be quite a hard metric if we are not overly thinking about what we're going to do about doing it. Live for the day to day. Be process driven rather than outcome driven. And to be honest with you, as someone who stands at a BMI of over 26, I'm exceptionally happy with where I'm at. I'm not going to go hard to get to sub 25 because some Belgian astronomer told me so in 1832. Times have changed. However, again, if we are of a category where you are not happy, / if your life is being held back physically due to pain, or indeed mentally due to anxiety or confidence, whatever it may be, do something about it. But they are way more powerful metrics than going by your height versus your weight. I do believe that. I think it can be a bit overused sometimes in the medical industry. I think sometimes there's a lack of understanding that building muscle mass, for example, is a very healthy thing to do, and it goes against BMI. So please, please, please have an open mind to it going forward. Weight loss is a tangible science. Don't get bogged down by the outcome but we know that the tangible science can be up and down, and that's why we go by the average over the course of time. I hope that helped. I hope that you realize that BMI is not something that should be completely put to one side, but the lighter you get, I would certainly have an open mind to what do I do on a day-to-day basis to be a healthy person, rather than being defined by a metric that was done many, many, many moons ago, that perhaps life has moved on just that little bit. My name's been Harry Hedges. I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye-bye.